Andrew Chanin, stocks are selling off today really hard, but silver continues to do well, especially those silver miners. What's behind the strong showing this year so far?
Certainly, I think there's a lot of things. Last year when we were on, we were talking about silver, and we were kind of talking about it being a contrarian opportunity for investors to get in. And the mining sector, as opposed to just the metals themselves, had an even worse year than the metals. And we're starting to see people take advantage of this time. Some of the miners are looking at the space and they're saying, M&A, was I going to do it last year? Maybe the risk is taken out of the equation, and I want to be able to get some of these miners at very cheap valuations right now. So I think a new emergence into the M&A cycle, we're starting to see it definitely in the silver space, is starting to bring the rest of the precious metal space up with it.
Let's talk about some of the miners in your ISE, Junior Silver Miners ETF, ticker is ISLJ. Let's start off with Fortuna Silver, Vancouver stock, and this one's been on an upswing.
Sure. So like many of these stocks in this basket, they've been turning around with the price of silver going up, which is fairly expected. Now with Fortuna, they actually announced that they had a record fourth quarter with silver production. And they also have a fairly clean balance sheet, which is allowing them to go out and start appraising other assets. So they possibly could be an M&A target, or at the same time, they could be looking to add cheap assets to their collection of reserves.
You're also a fan of Silvercrest Mines. This is around a $2 stock, so you get nice leverage here if this thing goes up.
This is another one that also announced record fourth quarter production in silver. So a lot of these companies you're starting to see, even though they were beaten up with the low price of the metal, they're able to get their balance sheets in line, and they're able to produce and have some pretty incredible gains and increases in production.
And then finally, a third stock that's done very well in your portfolio is Endeavour Silver. This is one we've spoken about before.
Yes, for their 9th year, they've increased production, and that's what you want to see from a company that's a junior company, maybe making the next step to a mid-tier, maybe one day even a senior producer. And to be able to buy some of these companies at these really beat-up valuations, I think are bringing a lot of new investors to the table.
All right, silver shining. Thanks a lot, Andrew.
Great to be back. Thanks.
And thank you for watching The Street.